Welcome, wanderers of the unseen. Today we gather to explore Asteya, the principle of non stealing, not just in the obvious sense, but in the ways that creep into the ancient corners of our daily lives. Asteya isn't just about not taking what belongs to someone else, it's about understanding that we rob from ourselves, therefore from others and from the world, often without even realizing it. In a world obsessed with having more and achieving more and becoming more, it's easy to fall into the trap of taking time, energy, and attention. We steal from ourselves when we waste hours scrolling mindlessly through social media, comparing our lives to carefully curated illusions. We steal our own peace when we say yes to things that drain us to avoid confrontation or discomfort. We steal from others when we demand their time and energy without truly giving back, taking more than what we offer, all while pretending it's balanced. Think about how we steal moments from ourselves by constantly living in the past or the future, but never in the now. Each moment we spend dwelling on what could have been or chasing what we think will make us whole is a moment stolen from the present, the only place where real change can actually happen. And then there's the way we rob the world by hiding our gifts, our talents, and our true selves, letting fear and doubt lock them away in the dungeon of our souls. The world needs what we have to offer, what you have to offer, but we hold back, stealing not just from ourselves, but from those who could be touched by our light. Imagine walking through a cemetery at midnight, the air thick with the weight of untold stories, of potential buried before it could even blossom. That's what happens when we steal from ourselves, when we allow fear or distraction to keep us from living authentically. Well, today, we're going to break free from that theft. As we move through our practice, let each breath, each movement be an act of giving back, giving yourself the space to exist fully without stealing away from your own power. Let's reclaim what's been lost and stop the slow theft of our time, our energy, and our truth. This is our journey into Asteya, where we learn to give without taking and to exist without robbing ourselves from our own potential. So, welcome, my friend, to the shadows, where we will uncover what has been taken and find the courage to take it back. So, find a comfortable space on your mat and let's begin with a round of breath work. We're going to flow through a couple rounds of box breathing, so feel free to use your hands if that helps. So go ahead and take an inhale for a count of 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Now go at your own pace here. Now when you're ready, let's move into our cat-cow. Come onto all fours into a tabletop position, making sure our knees are directly under our hips and our shoulders are in direct alignment with our wrists. When you inhale, push through your shoulder blades, and exhale, drop the belly. Inhale, push through those shoulder blades, arching your back, and exhale, Now let's sit back into our child pose, placing our bum right on top of our heels and extending our arms out. Now on your inhale, roll your body forward, activating those feet and pushing our hips up into our downward facing dog. Go ahead and release those knees to the mat and sit back into your child's pose. Inhale, come forward, downward facing dog. Exhale, drop those knees and sit back into your child's pose. Let's flow through one more time. Downward facing dog. And exhale, back into our child's pose. Let's take a couple steps to the front of our mat, preparing for our sun salutation. So big breath in, reaching your hands high to the sky. And exhale as you fall forward, coming into your forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale. You can use your blocks if you would like to help bring the floor a little closer. Let's step back with that right foot and bring the left to follow. Come into our knees. Since this is our first sun sal, we can flow through our chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. Raise up into our upward facing dog on your inhale. And exhale, pushing our hips back into our downward facing dog. We want to make sure that our hips are tilted up to where our tailbone is directly facing the sky. And go ahead and bring that right foot forward, placing it in between our hands, and then bringing that left foot to meet the right. Inhale halfway up. Exhale down into your forward fold. Feel free to bend those knees if you have tight hamstrings. And then on your next inhale in, let's go ahead and come up into our Tadasana. Big inhale in, we're going to restart our sun sal. And exhale, falling forward, forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, kicking that right foot to the back of the mat. Go ahead and meeting the left to the right. And let's flow through our chaturanga. Inhale, pushing your way up into your upward facing dog, making sure our hips are off the mat. And exhale into our downward facing dog. Now we'll be here for just a couple of breaths. When you're ready, let's send that right foot back to the front of our mat, in between our hands. Bringing our left to meet our right. Inhale in, halfway up, flattening that back. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, coming up into our Tadasana. We got one more time, guys. Big breath in, reaching for the stars. And exhale, fall forward. Come up into your half forward fold. And send that right foot to the back of the mat. Flowing through our chaturanga, you know what to do here. Go ahead and inhale, pressing your way up into your upward facing dog. And release into our downward facing dog. Bring that right foot back to the front of the mat. Go ahead and bring the left to meet the right. Half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up into our mountain pose, our Tadasana. And release. We're going to kick it up a notch, now flowing through our sun salutation, B. So go ahead and lower those hips, sitting back in your chair pose, extending the arms out above your head. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, flattening that, sending our feet to the back of the mat. Let's go ahead and lower through our chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Bringing our right foot to the front of the mat, in between our hands, we're going to ground that left heel and make sure our knee is directly on top of that right ankle. And we're going to extend up into our warrior one. Now release. Go ahead and lower down through your chaturanga. Flow through your up dog. Press those hips back into your down dog. We're going to swap to the other side, so turn that right foot out. Go ahead and bring the left foot to the front of the mat and raise up into your warrior one. And exhale, release. Let's flow through again our chaturanga. strong upper body in our up dog, and releasing our hips, making sure our back is nice and flat in our downward facing dog. Our shoulders are away from our ears and our tailbone is tilted up. Let's catch our breath here for just a few moments. When you're ready, let's go ahead and bend those knees and step to the front of our mat. Inhale in, half forward fold. Release into your forward fold. And go ahead and sit your hips back into your chair pose, extending those arms out above your head. And release. Good job, y'all. Feel free to shake it out if you need to. We've got 2 more rounds. So big inhale in, hands to the sky. Let's go ahead and set our hips back into that chair pose. Hold it strong. And release into our forward fold. Inhale, flattening that back, half forward fold. And exhale, sending our feet to the back of the mat. Flowing through that chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back into our downward facing dog. Turning that left foot out. Bringing our right foot to the front of the mat. And holding our warrior one strong and solid. Okay, now let's release. Flowing through that chaturanga. Feel free to still do the knees, chest, chin if that's what your body is calling for. And exhale into our downward facing dog. Let's move to our other side, turning that right foot out, bringing the left foot to the front of the mat, and extend your upper body into your warrior one. Go ahead and release. You know what to do. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And release into our downward dog. Let's take about 3 breaths here, calming down our heart, allowing our body to reacclimate. When you're ready, let's bend those knees and step to the front of our mat. Inhaling into our half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. And go ahead and drop those hips back into your chair. And release. Last time through, let's leave it all on the mat here. Big inhale in, hands up. And exhale, sitting back into our chair pose. Making sure our back is straight. Go ahead and release into your forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Go ahead and flow through that chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Turning that left foot out, bringing the right foot to the front of the mat, extending into our warrior one. Release. Go ahead and flow through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, hips back. Go ahead and step forward into your warrior one on your opposite side. And release, flowing through. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, push those hips back. Let's get in a couple good rounds of belly breath here. Bending those knees, let's step to the front of our mat. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. And sit those hips back into our chair. Release. Let's step back with our left foot, making sure our toes are facing the left side of our mat. And let's get into our warrior two. We want to make sure that that right knee is directly on top of that right ankle. Our backs are elongated and our arms are out, forming a T. Releasing our arms, dropping that left arm onto that left leg and taking that right arm and extending it out back behind our head, arching our side body, that left side. Now we want to make sure that our left arm is not putting any pressure on that left leg. Preparing for our extended triangle. If you'd like, go ahead and grab a block or a stack of books and place them on the inside of that right foot for a little extra support. Keeping our left foot planted, let's extend that right leg and place that right hand on top of that stack of books or that block. With that left arm, you can place it on your hip or extend it up into the sky, making sure your shoulders are in direct alignment with each other. Now when you're ready, let's go ahead and release this asana, bending our right knee. Ooh, make sure you don't fall over. If you do, that's okay, no worries. Let's pick up that block and move it to the inside of our left leg. Bending our left knee, let's make sure our right toes are facing the outside of our mat. And go ahead and extend your arms into your warrior 2. Keeping your core tight to help you balance. Bring your awareness to how strong you feel in this pose, to how strong your lower body is. Releasing our arms, allowing our right arm to rest peacefully on that right leg as we bring that left arm up and over, really extending that left side body as we keep that left leg bent. When you're ready, let's extend that left leg. Go ahead and make sure your block is exactly where you need it. Our right toes are still facing the outside of our mat, placing our left palm on that block or on the mat directly next to the inside of that foot, and extending our right arm up into the sky. We want to check those shoulders and make sure they're not caved in. We want them open. We want them in alignment with each other. And as that right arm is extended high into the sky, you can either keep your gaze on your mat or up towards those fingertips. On your next exhale, let's go ahead and release this asana, moving our block off the mat. Let's find our way to the back of our mat and lower down into our wide child's pose. Placing our knees on either side of our mat, let's take our left arm and thread it between our right arm and our body. Now you can keep your right arm exactly where it was on the mat, or you can lift it, or you could even tuck it behind your body, touching that left leg. Releasing our thread the needle variation, let's go ahead and sit back into our wide child pose. On your next exhalation, let's go ahead and release this asana and move into our thread the needle variation, taking that right arm and threading it between our left arm and our legs and sending our left arm up into the sky. Taking in a big, beautiful inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, let's release. We're going to come forward laying on our stomachs into our locust pose. So come to your bellies, release your hands, and on your next inhale, let's lift our chest, our arms, and our legs off of the mat. Y'all are looking good. Keep holding strong. We're almost there. And release. Staying right where you are, let's bend those knees and go ahead and reach back and grab our ankles. And go ahead and lift our legs and our chest off the mat, coming into our bow pose. When you're ready, let's, with control, go ahead and let go of our ankles, allowing our legs to come back to the mat. And we're going to raise up, coming into our forearm plank. You are more than welcome to stay on your palms if that's what feels better. But if you're up for it, let's come down onto our forearms, making sure that whatever variation you are in, that your shoulders and elbows are in direct alignment with each other. Our backs and our bums are in as straight a line as possible. We want to keep that core tight. Just keep that mind clear of any mental chatter. When you're ready, Let's go ahead and release our hips, sending them up into the sky as we walk our feet a little bit closer to our arms. Now, if you're feeling some tightness in those hamstrings, feel free to bend those knees. Together, let's take a big inhale in for a count of 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, and release 2, 3, 4. Let's walk those feet to the back of our mat and go ahead and lay our bodies back down onto our mats. Keeping our chest elevated, we still want to make sure our shoulders are directly on top of those elbows as you rest in your Sphinx pose. Lowering our chest back down to the mat, coming into our crocodile pose. Let's put our arms out in front of us, one on top of the other, and rest our head on top of our arms. On your next exhale, let's release this asana. Placing your hands on either side of your chest, go ahead and lift up, bringing your hips off the mat, and go ahead and turn to face over your right shoulder. Most of your weight should be on your hands and on that left leg. Coming back to our neutral position, and when you're ready, go ahead and swap to the opposite side, looking over that left shoulder. On your next exhale, let's release this hold and lower down. We're going to take that left leg and we're going to bend it out to the side, taking our right arm and threading it through as we extend that left arm out in front of us. With this thread the needle variation, we want to make sure that our shoulders are as square to the mat as we can get them, really stretching out that right shoulder cap. When you're ready, let's swap sides. So go ahead and release your upper body and release that left leg. And extend that right leg out to the side, keeping it bent, and taking that left arm and threading it through. Again, making sure that your right arm is stretched out in front of you and that our shoulders are as square to the mat as you can get them. Bringing our awareness back to our breath. Let's take a big inhale in, feeling your lungs open up. And exhale, emptying your lungs out as we come to a seated position. Once you're seated, Let's bend those knees and bring the soles of our feet to the mat. Go ahead and lay back. On your next inhale, let's lift our hips up into our bridge pose. As we hold this, let's bring our awareness to the strength that we have in our lower body and in our upper back to be able to hold this pose. Vertebrae by vertebrae, let's lower our hips back down to the mat. Let's come back into that seated position. We're going to keep that left leg extended and grab our right foot and place it on the outside of that left knee. Taking that left arm and either hugging in that right knee or placing that left elbow on the outside of that right knee. Facing the front of our mats, let's swap sides. So extending that right leg, taking that left ankle and placing it on the outside of that right knee, twisting our upper body and locking it in with that right elbow. It's very common for that left shoulder to want to cave in a little. So with that next inhale, let's straighten our backs and open up that shoulder. Untwisting our upper body, extending both of our legs out. Let's reach towards our toes and slowly lay back. And as you take a big breath in, let's bring both of our knees into our chest. You can give a little rock here if that feels good on your lower back. Let's extend both of our legs, coming into our corpse pose, our savasana. Lay your head back. Allow your hands to just fall at your side. Allow your toes to face either corners of your mat and just fully relax your body here. Allow your shoulders to touch the mat. Relax that jaw, your eyebrows. It's very common for us to hold tension within our face and in our necks. So just keep in mind the whole point of this asana is to fully release. Let go of your thoughts, let go of the tension in your body, and just be here at peace in your sacred space. As we close out today's session, take a moment to sit with what you've reclaimed. Throughout our practice, we have faced the subtle ways we steal from ourselves and from others, our time, our energy, and our truth. But here in the quiet of this peaceful place, you've taken back what was always yours. Asteya teaches us that life isn't about grasping, taking, or hoarding what we don't need. It's about freeing ourselves from the theft of distraction, comparison, and fear. You've chosen to stop robbing yourself of the present moment and the power found within it. So as you leave this space, let this sense of wholeness follow you. When the world tries to pull you back into the cycle of taking, whether it's your energy and time or someone else's, remember the strength you've tapped into today. You don't need to steal from yourself or anyone else to be complete. You already have everything you need built into your being. So I want to thank you for walking this shadowed path with me. And until we meet again, carry with you the power you've reclaimed. And let your truth be your guide. Bringing our awareness back into our body, back into our fingertips, giving them some movement, bringing that energy down to our toes. This big inhale as we raise our hands high above our head, fully stretching out, pointing those toes, and release as you come on to your side in your fetal position. Press your way up to where you're seated in the center of your mat. When you're ready, inhale in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. One more time, big, beautiful, bold inhale in, sending your hands high to the sky, and exhale as you bring your hands down to your third eye, thanking it for being open to receiving, being open to learn. Bringing your hands down to your heart center, thanking yourself for showing up today. You made this promise to yourself, and you're keeping your end of the deal. Now taking your hands and placing them on top of your heart and thanking that big, amazing muscle for always beating for you, for loving you and guiding you. And last but not least, I bow to you, my friend. Namaste. May you have a day as amazing as you.